first of all, let's talk about being in Dubai. Lots of crowds have turned out today, but you are used to plenty more back in India.
Yeah, cricket is a very popular sport in the country, and people follow it. And we have a lot of population, so there's a lot of people watching it. But it was good fun coming to Dubai, for MCC. One of those days, it's one of those Sunday league games in county cricket. Coloured clothing, pink ball, and a good atmosphere. It's a beautiful ground, open grounds with grass patches to sit on, great outfields. It was been good fun.
We were at the Zayed Cricket Stadium in Abu Dhabi the other day when it was actually the semi-final in the Cricket World Cup, and of course India went through, and you must have been watching and just reliving those moments and that hysteria afterwards.
Oh yeah, India-Pakistan is always big. Before the game, all 6 days there was nothing on television and newspapers except India-Pakistan. The team, both the sides, comments, captains, it was just all over. The diplomats coming in, the prime ministers coming in of both the countries, Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, other politicians were all there. It was a big atmosphere. India-Pakistan games have always been like that. I still remember when we toured in 2004. It was fantastic. General Musharraf was there to greet us, and we won the Test and One Day series in 2004. We toured Pakistan after 15 years, and it was fantastic. India-Pakistan, I've always said, it's the game in cricket. There is the Ashes. Ashes bring you excitement, but not even a patch on what India-Pakistan does to those two countries.
With that in mind, is there a possibility that that might even overshadow the final tomorrow?
There'll be a lot of people in the final tomorrow, that's for sure. It's in Mumbai, it's a busy city, it's a loud city. There'll be 50,000 watching, people will be coming from all over, the tickets are in demand, there's security all over. It's going to be a big game tomorrow also, but as you said, it's no way close to an India-Pakistan game, although I feel a World Cup final is a bigger game than a World Cup semi-final, and it's going to be big tomorrow as well.
Of course, the last time that India were in a World Cup final, you think back to your days, you'd made this resurgent side that were playing really well away from home, and this has got that home gear to it. Is that something that you wish you'd have had, that crowd in Mumbai?
I think everywhere India plays, there's people following them. And I remember a game at Lord's, the NatWest final in 2003. I thought it was India's home game. And the 2003 World Cup final was fantastic. There was everybody. There was special aircrafts coming from India to watch India play in the World Cup final. And it's going to be big this time. It's just that I didn't play in the era where World Cups happened at home. It comes back after a long time. My first World Cup was in England in 1999. I just got into the team after the World Cup in '96 when we lost in India. Straight away a series after that. So I was around for 14 years, but the World Cup would take another 14 years to come back to India. So probably missed it, but World Cup anywhere is fantastic. And if India wins tomorrow, the country will go berserk.
Take the current side versus the side that you were involved with in captaining, and how do they compare?
Pretty similar. I think a lot of players of that team are in this squad. 7 or 8 of them are in this squad, and these are different eras. I always believe that it's like a relay race in sport, especially in cricket. You play for a certain time, you pass the baton on to your next people, and they take it forward. So it's difficult to compare teams of both the eras. We got to the World Cup final then. We had some great wins during that period. We played so well in Australia. We won in Pakistan for the first time ever in Pakistan, in England, and we were fantastic. And this team also, they've been fantastic. And if they win the World Cup tomorrow, good luck to them.
Are there any of the current players that you wish you had playing under you back then?
All of them had. Sachin was playing under me, Sehwag, Yuvraj, Zahir, Harbhajan, Nehra, Dhoni, all those guys were a part when I was captain. So it's pretty much, as I said, it's pretty much a similar sort of team.
Sachin Tendulkar, we've got to talk about him. I mean, there's some records that could be made tomorrow for him personally as well. And you must have watched his career through alongside your own. And you perhaps saw that dip a few years ago, and then he's just had a great form. What do you make of his longevity in his career?
He's just 37 years old. He's not that old yet. And it's just a passion for the game, just the quality of player he is. The record he has is just because he's an outstanding player, and he's just kept getting better and better. For me, age is immaterial. When I finished at the age of 37, I was still scoring more runs for India than anybody else. Graham Gooch played till 40. Sachin Tendulkar is 37, 38, and he still scores more runs than anyone. So age I don't think is a criteria for a batsman, and he will continue to score runs till he plays.
And on the opposition, Mattaya Muralitharan, what a bowing out that's going to be for him.
He's another champion, and to me the records he and Sachin will set in cricket will be very difficult to beat. And it's his last game. a last ever international game for Murli, and he's just taken Sri Lankan cricket on his shoulders. He's probably had more impact on Sri Lankan cricket than Sachin's had on Indian cricket. Without Muralidharan, I couldn't have imagined Sri Lankan cricket coming so far. So he's another champion and another great, absolute great. There's no other word for him. And it's good to see that two greats are on the same park tomorrow. Probably it's going to be their last one-day game, last World Cup. Definitely last one-day game could be. But I don't know who's going to win. And I just hope that our great wins.
Do you see sides like India, Pakistan and Sri Lanka dominating for a few years to come? Because Australia, of course, have gone through some troubles. They've changed captain. What have you made of their recent form?
India will do well. India will do well for sure. But Sri Lanka, we'll have to wait and see what happens when Muthaiya Muralidharan finishes. He's a big wicket taker for them, and you need somebody who take wickets. England is a good side in Test cricket. Don't forget them. I somehow don't understand why they don't do well in one-day cricket, but they're a very, very good Test side. I think it's going to be India and England dominating for the next few years.
Would you say the game is turning to be more about bowling at the moment? It seems that that's been the headlines for the last couple of matches, that it's all bowlers, apart from Sachin, of course.
No, I think it's a batsman game still, especially on the subcontinent wickets. It's a batsman's game, and if you're a good bowler, you're obviously going to make headlines. The likes of Muralidharan, Harbhajan Singh, Graham Swan, they've made the headlines by picking wickets, and if you do well, you make the headlines.
Just a couple of more. How exciting is it to see a left-hander like Gautam Gambhir at the prospect of the top of the batting order?
No, I think he's the future captain of India at some stage. He's done well. He's got a very cool head. He's done fantastically in Test matches. He's got a good record in one-day cricket, and he's the future of India.
You're widely recognised as the man, as we said earlier, that had this fighting spirit away from home. I mean, how much do you think that the current captain, Dhoni, can do that too?
Terrific. I think he's got that spirit. He's got the team to do it. That's most important. And we'll have to wait and see once these big players finish. The likes of Sachin Tendulkar and Dravid and Lakshman, they're on the last legs of their careers, and we'll have to wait and see what happens when they finish. That's why I feel it's a big responsibility on Dhoni not to just take this team, make this team do well, but also create a team for the future for India. And by the time he leaves his captaincy, which he will at some stage, he should leave the legacy of making another side.
Finally, from yourself, how special was it to be part of India's Fab 4 or 5 if we're including Sehwag?
Oh, terrific, around for 14 years, we saw Indian cricket really develop, really become a world beater during that stage, winning in Pakistan, winning in Australia, winning in England, West Indies. When I started my career, we never thought about it. In '96, when I first played my Test match in England, the impression was we were a good side, but we would never win. We would have good performances from a Tendulkar or a Dravid or a Ganguly, but we will not win a series. But that's changed. Now we go to Australia, we win. We go to West Indies, we win. We go to England, we win. We go to South Africa, we win. And that's the biggest gain of Indian cricket in the last 10 years.